What's up, fools? Brent with AOB. We're coming back with chart play again. We did it last time with 5 double streets, so we wanted to go again today. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the chart. We're going to pull up the chart. And we're going to do 9 streets, and this 9 street method that I'm going to use is centipede 1 on 2 losses. We'll switch to the other end and do centipede 4. It'll make sense when you see it. But for right now, let's pull open the chart again here. And if you look at the chart for the 9 streets, with basically standard martingale progressions, you can see, you can go down the list here and decide where exactly, do you want to be with your bankroll, or not where do you want to be, but where we all want to be $10 million on our bankroll. You can come down there and see what you got. So me right now, I have, if you look down in the bottom there, you can see right here, we have a balance of $500. Okay. 500 US dollars. And we're on the Prague servers. And if you notice, the Prague servers have a minimum bet of 10 cents. Well, if we look at the chart up there, $500, if you look on the left side under bankroll, $500 has a unit size of 5 cents based on the chart. Now remember, the progressions on this chart, I set the number of progressions based on what I felt were the minimum number of progressions you need to be somewhat safe, okay? Safer, not safe, safer, okay? Also, we're doing a 5% profit target. So at $500, we're looking for a $25 goal. Based on that, we're looking at a playtime of 250 minutes to achieve that. How did I calculate that? Basically, I'm rounding up to 1 spin equals 1 minute. 1 spin in this case, if we're betting 5 cents, 5 cent units, because it's 9 street, we make 3 units a spin. That's 15 cents every single minute. But we're going to have losses. We're going to need time to recover. So I took that time, which is 1 spin a minute, and I multiplied that and made the spins 1 minute and 30 seconds per profit spin. Give us chance. So that comes out. We would need to basically run this thing, right, of 60 minutes. You'd be looking at a little over 4 hours to do this if you wanted to do the 10 progressions like this. So we're going to see how close we come to this, but we're only going to go for like 20 minutes. We're 2 minutes into this. So, okay. So the next question is, we need a 5 cent bet for this chart. But if you look down here, our chips, when it pulls up here, the smallest chip that this Prague table has is 10 cents. Brent, how are we going to do that? I'm going to tell you how to do that. In the bottom right, below here, right here, you see on the bottom right of my screen, right below that you can't see is a, let's get rid of this Excel, but there is a button right here for USD. It's showing we're playing in USD currency. We are going to switch that, okay? We're going to switch that. Let me pull this down so you can see it. And we are going to pull this down and we're going to go into Argentinian currency, okay? Argentinian, and we're going to save our preferences. We're going to save our preferences. Going to reload the screen, okay? And when it comes up, we're going to have to go back into the table. But now we're in Argentinian currency. And the reason why we want to go to Argentinian currency is because we can then, the number of units of Argentinian, you can see this has got a $50 min unit. Let me get rid of this. This has got a $50. This table has a $50. That's the lowest chip. So you're saying, Brent, $50. It's more than the 5 cents we need. Aha. But if we pull up a converter here, this is just a Google, type in Google ARS, Argentinian to USD converter. And you can see if we type in here, how much is USD is 50 Argentinian. You can see over here, you see the $50 chip here in the middle of my screen. 50 Argentinian is only 0.04, 4 cents. Okay. So when we look at that, we're like, okay, great. That is 4 cents. When we pull up our Excel sheet again at $500, we need 5 cents. We're a cent below that. So really we're playing at the target of around 350 to 400 bankroll. So you can play with that, but that's as close as we can get to it. That's how you circumvent that there. So let's get going here. Now that you understand what we're doing and how we're doing it, let's start our play. And I have my bets already saved. Apparently I don't. So I'm going to delete these. All right, I'm going to delete these. Here we go. We're going to start out with Centipede 1. There it is. That's Centipede 1, 9 streets. Okay, save that last bet. And the reason I call it Centipede 1 is because it starts on the first street and it goes to the 25 street, which is 9 streets over. We call that Centipede 1, like a centipede. Okay, so we lost there. Now, the way that I play this is we're doing a 2x standard martingale. So we're going to martingale this. If we win on this one, because I want to bring my progressions down, I'm going to go down to base bet, and that would get us exactly even. Now, if you're looking down here at our profit down in the bottom, if you look down there is my finger pointing way across the board on the other side, you'll see the profit's $499.99 minus. Win at the end, okay, so it lost twice over there. So we're going to flip it to the other side. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to save that bet real quick. And then we're going to double. Okay, so we're on our third progression. Remember, if we pull up our Excel spreadsheet with this, at the 500 at 5 cents, we would have 10 progressions. So we're already on our third progression, and we're going to just play straight through with this. That was the idea of this sheet, is what can you do to just play straight through? All right, since we lost twice, we have to leave it at this bet for at least 2. Then we can go all the way down to base bet if we want. Now, if you want to play more aggressively, you don't have to come back down. You can keep your bet at that high progression, but then you're going to lose your progressions. You still have your 10 progressions, but it's going to be riskier in one respect. On the other respect, you recover quicker, okay, and you go into profit quicker. So it's just up to you which one. I do both. Normally when I'm playing with a lower amount that I can definitely afford, I will normally play more aggressively. If I'm playing with higher units, I'll definitely play more conservatively. But I suggest if you have the actual $500 bankroll, I like protecting my progression. So I believe in the last video when we did the 5 double streets, someone wrote in there, what's with the the negative progressions? That doesn't work. That'll always bust. Positive progressions, meaning every time you win, you go up. Positive progressions are the only way. I'll just agree to disagree. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with positive progressions, but listen, they said negative progressions, you will eventually bust. Here's the thing. No matter what strategy you play, if you play it long enough, you will have a losing streak. If you don't have a stop limit, you will bust out. Or if the amount of your bankroll is your loss limit, you will bust sooner or later. It's going to happen, okay? Now, what we're hoping is with 10 progressions, we're hoping we can avoid that. I mean, we're covering 71% of the board, so let's hope we don't run into 10 progressions. Now, initially, when you're thinking about it, you go 10 progressions, I'd have to lose 10 times in a row. Not really, right? Not really. You could lose 2, win 1, and you're still on that third progression. Then you lose again, and you're on the fourth progression, win 1, but because we're not recovered or close to it, you're going to leave it at that fourth progression, then lose again. So you can stair step your way down. It's not necessarily you're going to lose 10 straight down. Now, the comforting news is that if you lose, win, when you get to the end, whereas the spreadsheet showed what your cumulative loss would be, that's if you lost all in a row. That's really not going to happen. So you will not be using that bankroll. So it's more conservative than it needs to be, but I suggest you play more conservatively. Okay, so now since we flipped to the other side of this, we're just going to leave it here. We lose 2 in a row or 2 before recovery, and we're going to flip to the other side. So I hope this makes sense. Let's just review really quickly. Find out what the table minimum is. Look at the chart. If you go off the chart that I'm showing you, this chart right here, and you look down and you go, okay, we need 3 cents, 4 cents, whatever it is, then you're going to figure out what your conversion is on another currency. So the best thing is go to currency, and you can pull up, let me show you these things. If you're looking down here and you pull up this list, this is on the bottom right, and you're looking through, you can go through here and try and see what the conversion is with all these different ones. we have found that ARS is one of the best ones. I believe now the other kind of cool thing about it is that you can go to the live 88 tables. And whereas this one, it's a $50 ARS minimum bet. If you go to the live 88 tables, it's a $25 ARS minimum bet, which takes this from 4 cents down to 2 cents. So don't just get stuck on, I'm going to Prag because Prag and Evolution, they're the big common that most everybody has available to them. Not everybody has the live 88 tables available, but check out the different tables. Even within, say, Evolution, some of those tables will have $1 or 50-cent minimum. You go to some of their other tables, they might have 10-cent minimums. A good example is the instant roulette here. 50 cents is the min on like the French table and all the other tables. You go to the instant roulette table, and that's a 10-cent minimum bet. So just do some time, take some time to look around the different tables and explore this currency. Now, the other thing you're saying is, hey, Brent, this is showing a profit of $750. I don't want to be doing math in my head. Don't worry about it. I got you covered there. What we're going to do is at the very end when we're done, okay, now there's one way you can leave the currency window open like this. Let's pull open the currency window again. And you can look at the currency converter, and you could go in here. Okay, let's convert the 50. Now we have 899. Let's just say 900. We're up 76 cents. Okay, you see that? We're up 76 cents. Okay, so that's one way, is just have that currency converter with you at all times. The other way is when you're done playing. All right, we lost. That's one. We're going to go up. We're going to martingale this. When you're done playing, leave your live stats graph alone. And then go down here at the bottom again where the currency button is down here, and switch back over to USD. You're going to come up here and switch over to USD and then save it. That will convert everything to USD. The table will reset, but your graph, if you leave it open, this graph will then convert into USD and you can see what it is. All right, there we go. There's one win. And now on the first loss, if I win on the second progression, I bring my bet down to 1. Again, you may choose to be more aggressive and leave it at the second progression. I prefer to err on the side. To me, it's safer. Go back down to a single progression because progressions are life. And I'd rather have that progression back in my belt because I have 10. And you never know when you get all the way through, because you will have those sessions. You're like, oh, if I could have one more progression, that would have been great. Look we would have lost on that one. We'd be on our third progression instead of second. So now what we're doing is, now that we lost that one, we're coming back here, double, because we lost 2 on the other side. So now we're flipping 2 before recovery. So we're flipping over to the low side of the board. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And I feel good with the 10 progressions on this. Now you can talk to anybody you want, including myself, and say, I've done 9 streets and I've gone through 11 progressions or something crazy like that. And I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with them that they have an experience. I've never gone through that many progressions on it, but I'm sure it can happen. And like I said, take the craziest scenario you can think of. And if you sit here and play long enough, you will see that scenario. You got 3 streets plus 0. Oh my gosh, it hit 0 12 times in a row. I'm exaggerating, but you get it. It hit 0 3 times, and then it hit the opposite end where I had my wax 4 times. I switched sides and it whacked me over here. So you play long enough, you'll see pretty much everything that you didn't think was possible. You'll see it's possible. And that's why it's really important. Put into your bankroll what you're willing to lose for that session. Okay. Then go to the chart. Chart's available on our Discord, and I will get it up on our website here shortly. Go to the chart and follow the chart if you want, if you find that this chart's helpful, because again, the nice thing about the chart, and I'm sorry, I have this currency covering up the table. The nice thing about this chart is it kind of takes the work out of it. You just go down the list and go, where's my bankroll? Look across, and it tells you this is what your bet needs to be. Okay, let's get that out of there. We just won that again. We're just going to keep rebetting base bet. Now, the nice thing about playing in ARS is if you look at our balance down here, $594,000. So you want to impress your friends. You have a date and you want to impress your date. Put your USD in there, especially like $1,000, because then this is going to be over $1 million. And you'll notice down here, there's no currency symbol. Now down in the very bottom right down here, there is a currency symbol, but you know, are they going to be paying attention? You go, hey baby, let's just throw out a couple bucks, you know. Yeah, we'll just take it easy tonight. I mean, my balance is pretty low. It's dollars, $1.1 million. Oh, yeah. I think you got a good chance of getting lucky on the table and elsewhere. Okay, let's keep going here. So we are at 15 minutes, 16 minutes. We're going to take off a few minutes off of that because we were explaining. Let's just take off 4 minutes, 3 minutes. How's that? 13 minutes. I want to go to 20 minutes. That's a nice even 20 minutes. That way we know we can multiply our winnings by 3 to see what we got after per hour. I'm looking for what are we going to win per hour following this. Now, again, this is off. I built this chart out. I didn't test it. I just went off of my experience about how much long when I was calculating how many spins and all that to kind of do. And it's not perfect, but it is just a guide. If you watched the last video where we did the 5 double streets based on the chart, we came really close. We were almost spot on what the chart was saying for how long it would take us and what our profit would be by the end of that time. Okay, or how long it would take us to get to the 5%. And that's what we're going for. I like 3 to 5%. And that's what I would suggest to you, especially if you're just starting or you're really in this for the long haul and you're looking to build your bankroll without going busted. That's what I suggest, 3 to 5%. If you're feeling really good or the session's going really good, or you're really experienced or whatnot, or you have a big bankroll and you're playing well below that bankroll. So let's say you have a $10,000 bankroll, but you're only playing $500 playable balance and you're playing 4-cent bets, then go ahead. And if you're willing to put in the time, go up to 10, 15, 20, because you can afford to lose that 500, really not impacting your $10,000 bankroll. But if you're pretty much playing with what you got or half of what you got, which is a good idea, by the way, put half of what you have away and then play with at least half. If you have a bigger bankroll, divide it up into quarters, play with 1 quarter, double that money, and then put your other quarter away, play it. Now you have your entire bankroll saved and you're just playing. Okay. And keep grinding. When I say house money, let's just say make it sound profit because it's no longer house money. It's your money, but it's all profit. Okay. But that's what we mean by house money. So, all right, we're at 18 minutes. We said we're going to go to 23 minutes, looking straight up above us, 23 minutes. And let's see where we end up. And we're doing really well right now, 19-4. I really like this strategy. Centipede 1, 2 losses, flipping and going the opposite direction. Flipping sides every 2 losses. I really, really like this. I have yet to bust on this. And I have left this running on Clever Bets overnight, and I have not busted. I think this is the only strategy I have left that I have run for a long periods of time, and I have yet to bust on it. And what's most important is that you have those progressions, especially if you're going to leave this run overnight on a tool like Clever Bets. I would go up to 15 to 20 progressions. You can help it, but you know that 15 or 20 progressions gets very expensive. We look at this, you come down here and, your 15 or 20 progressions are going to get up there. I don't have the actual progression chart there, but you can get our progression charts to show what would that be costing you if you lose X number of progressions. What's your cumulative loss? We have those sheets available on our website, allonblack.net, as well as on our Discord server. Okay, we lost. We're going to martingale. And we're almost at 20 minutes. So we're going to basically play until we recover here. So as soon as we recover, we're going to stop. And of course, I'm doing 2x here. If we win this, we go down to first progression. That'll break us even. So we'll end up right where we were just at pre-loss right there. So let's see if we can get back there. And then I'm going to show you what I mean by switching back to USD and having the graph. We're going to leave the graph alone, and that'll show you what it is at the end. Okay, there's a second loss. So we're going over here. All right. So now that's why when you have your girlfriend over and you look down here and go, total bet $1,800. You go, yeah. Okay. I'm willing to lose that. You know, now $1,800, that is about $1.50. That's just a little over $1.50. $1.52. That's what it is. $1.52. So yeah, damn right you're willing to lose it. So, okay, there's one. We got to keep going because we lost 2 in a row. So we're going to have to leave it at this amount, and then we can come back down to base bet after this, and that will break us even. All right, let's go. Now, if you have a much bigger bankroll and you're willing to play with much lower units, you can do what we call hero progressions, which are after your loss, instead of doing a 2x, do a 3x. You lose that second one, you do a 4x, and then you do 4x from there on out all the way down, and that will always in one hit get you back even Steven. Okay, we're just going to call it right there. That looks close enough. I think we're 1 win away from actually recovering, but we're just going to leave it there at 2,099.96 ARS. So this is what I'm talking about. Watch this. Down here in the bottom right, I'm going to pull this open, and we're going to change this over to USD. Okay, and let me get rid of this real quick so you can see it. I'm going to save the preference. All right. It says in the top right, you can't see it, but I'm getting a message saying currency has changed. And this is going to bring us back to the lobby. Now, if you look down, let's see, you can't see it. So let's just go back into the table so you can, because the way I have my scene set up, you can't see my balance. I want you to be able to see the balance. If you come back up, you look at the balance down here now, it's 501.77. So we're just going to say in 20 minutes of playing this, we made $1.77, right? Now, if we look at the chart here, Excel, $1.77, we'd have to multiply that by 3 to get what the hour is, right? So that's what, 3, 4, 5, 520, somewhere around 520. Let's just call it 5 to be conservative. So we're talking $5. And let's make sure my math is right. $1.77 times 3, that's 3. 7 times 3 is 21. That's 5, 10 plus another 20. So yeah, it's like 540, 550 or something. We're just going to call it 5. So the graph said it's going to take us 250 minutes. Now we're going to go down to the 4 where you have a bankroll of 350 to 400 because that's showing a 4 cent. But it's saying it would take 250 minutes of play time to make $20. Okay, $17 to $20. We just made, what did I say, 550, but we're going to go 5 in 1 hour. I think it is more than that. So 3 hours, right? So this is 4 hours. 4 hours times 5, right, is 20, which is spot on. It's almost exact to $20. So far, 2 strategies on this chart have been nearly spot on to what I anticipated and calculated on this thing. So 2 for 2. We're also going to do 2 dozens, and we're also going to do outside 1-to-1 bets and see if those remain spot on. And if they do, then you can go, and obviously you're going to have ups and downs and some, but in general, it looks like so far this thing is 100%. All right, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you understand the chart, number one. I hope that this helps you understand how you can get a lower bet than what the USD table minimum is by switching over to another currency, how to do that, how to figure out by going to Google currency converter, how to do that so you can see exactly what you have. And then at the very end, leaving your chart here, let me pull this down. You can see, let's get rid of the Excel. So you can see the chart has converted over to USD, and that's what it looks like. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, I understand that many of you like playing it differently, more aggressively, positive progressions, negative progressions, Fibonacci, whatever. Hey, what works for you, keep doing it. I'm a martingale fan. this has worked for me. And if you have the number of progressions, no matter what strategy, you're going to give yourself a much better chance. All right, that's it. Be good humans. Us against the casino always. So share it. This stuff is 100% free in our Discord, on our website, all these tools that we put together. And we got a lot more on our Discord. We never charge for any of those things. Free. Sharing is caring. All right. I'll see you guys next time, and we'll do 2 dozens. All right. Cheers.